far we have seen one-dimensional array. Let's now look at multi-dimensional array, and we will start by focusing on two-dimensional array. So let's say we want to store this table. So this table, since it is a two-dimensional table with rows and columns, it is better if we store it in a two-dimensional array. So how do we declare and create two-dimensional array? So after the data type, if it is two-dimensional, we will put two bracket pairs and then the name of the array. So if we want to create it, we have to put new, then the data type, then in the bracket pairs we need to give the dimension. The first one is the row size and the second one is the column size. So we can have another way to declare is we can combine them in one statement, and we can declare them like C. That means the bracket pairs come after the variable name, but the preferred method is doing this, the bracket pairs after the data type. So let's say we are declaring a two-dimensional array named matrix of size 10 by 10. That means 10 row and 10 column. So this is preferred. So if we now have this matrix 0 0 equal 3, that means the 0th column of the 0th row will be assigned the value 3. So if we want to access all the elements of an array, we need loops. So if it is a one-dimensional array, we need one for loop. If it is a two-dimensional array, we need a nested for loop. The outer for loop is to access each row, and inside each row, to access every column, we need the inner loop. So here what we are doing is, for in I equals 0, I less than matrix dot length. So matrix dot length gives us the first size, that means the row size, and then inside the inner loop, int j equals 0, j less than matrix I dot length. That means the size of the ith row of the matrix. That means the column size. Then inside it, we are actually randomly generated some values, converting it to int and assigning it to matrix. So two-dimensional array actually looks like a matrix. So if we have like this, that matrix equal new int 5 5, so that's a 5 by 5 matrix. So if we now assign 7 into matrix 2 1, 2 means we have to first go to row wise 0 1 2, and then the column number is 1, so 0 1. So in this cell we have to assign the value 7. So we can actually initialize also multi-dimensional array or two-dimensional array here. So it's done by inside the brace pair, we will have individual brace pair for every rows. So here matrix dot length, if we have matrix dot length, it will give us the number of rows. Then if we give matrix 0 dot length, it will give us the length of the 0th row, which is here, which is again 1 2 3 4 5 5. For this one, this is our array. So array dot length is 4. So array dot length gives us the number of rows. Then array 0 dot length means the length of the 0th row, which is 3. So when we initialize, we can initialize by this. So when we actually say two-dimensional array, it simply means array of arrays. What does it mean? If we have an array, a two-dimensional array of integer, the size of which is 3 and 4, that means 3 by 4, what it means is it will have an integer array of size 4 and it will have 3 such arrays. So here we see these are the original contents and this is the first array of size 4, this is the second array and this is the third array. And the addresses of all these arrays will be kept in another array. And the address of this array will be assigned to the variable x. So multidimensional array is simply array of arrays. If we now want to access a particular element, let's say x23, so x23 means we have to go to the second row. So 0, 1, 2. So inside the second array, we have to access the third column. So 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the third column. So this is our element x23. So let's take another example. x12. x12 means from the first array we have to go to the first position, which is 0, 1 here. So following the address we will get this array, and from here we need to access the second element, that means 0, 1, 2. This is our target element. This is very important to understand this array addressing method in Java. So using this we can have ragged arrays. Ragged means something that is crumbled up, so uneven surface. So each row in a two-dimensional array is itself an array. That's what we have just seen. So the rows can have different length. That means each individual array can have different length, and such an array is known as a ragged array. For example, this two-dimensional array where the first row is of size 5, the second row is of size 4, third row size 3, fourth row size 2 and fifth row size 1. So when we actually store it in our memory, so this is the first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. Each of their addresses then stored in another array, which is array of addresses, and the address of this array is stored in our triangle array. Okay. So in your book you can see many other examples of accessing and manipulating arrays or multidimensional arrays, such as initializing arrays with input values from the user, printing the contents of the array, summing all elements by column, which row has the largest sum. That means we need to first take the sum of all the rows and then see which one has the highest sum, finding the smallest index of the largest element, random shuffling, and so on. So we have seen two-dimensional array, and occasionally we need a multi-dimensional array where the dimension is more than 3 or more than 3. So in such cases, it doesn't matter how many dimensions, we can actually declare as many dimensions as necessary. Just here simply we need to put that many bracket pairs. So if we want to declare a three-dimensional array, we will simply put 3 bracket pairs after the type, then the name of the array, and then this new double 10, 5, 2, meaning we will actually have We will an array of double values of size 2, and those arrays will be 5 times, or that means that type of array will be 5 times, and that set will be 10 times.